get the deal done, Nvidia will be able to the 2020s what Intel was to the 1990s. Yes, that is the analogy. In 1990s, Intel was quite sainted. Can they get it done? On the one hand, ARM's not really a competitor. When it comes to antitrust, that's normally a pretty good argument. However, so much of the world runs on ARM's technology that any change to their business model would have massive ramifications, and that's bound to make some regulators nervous. NVIDIA's chips already have near monopoly on cloud-based artificial intelligence, but that's just because of sheer brain power. Now, ARM would give them even more clout. This deal makes them the king of the data center. Some regulators may not like that either, especially overseas, even as it might make the data centers run less hot, quicker, and better. And that should matter, right? On top of that, some of ARM's existing customers might not be too thrilled. I mean, they got into bed with a company that simply licenses out technology. They didn't get in bed with another chipmaker. Excuse me. NVIDIA said they won't mess with ARM's business model. And I think they can solve this problem by putting that in writing. Codify the open licensing model as part of the antitrust approval process. Hey, speaking of antitrust, the argument here is that an NVIDIA-ARM combo would simply be too powerful, even though they're not direct competitors. Too much concentration. But when I spoke to Jensen, he sounded confident they'll be able to get regulatory approval even in more hostile jurisdictions overseas, although it might take some time. I'm betting this thing doesn't close. It might take 18 months. Look, geez, it could take 2 years, but it's worth it. Finally, you got to worry about China. The last time NVIDIA tried to make a big acquisition, that was that Mellanox deal, it got held up for over a year because the Chinese authorities wanted to use it as a bargaining chip in the trade war. Well, that could happen again. But you know what? There were countless bears who publicly stated that NVIDIA had no shot at all of getting Chinese approval in the middle of a constantly escalating trade war. They pronounced the Mellanox deal dead. They turned out to be dead wrong. And now NVIDIA has a lot more experience navigating China's regulatory apparatus. Plus, look, if Joe Biden wins the election in November, these trade wars, those worries, I think, go out the window. Here's the bottom line. If NVIDIA can close on ARM holdings, the stock's going to be unstoppable, even after its magnificent multi-year run. I think Jensen Huang can eventually make it happen. But what if I'm wrong? Look, the stock was at $486 before the ARM news, and it's only at $494 now. I like that risk reward, even as the stock stood at just $172 1 year ago.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.